All right, so the last type of ionic compounds, the only type of ionic compounds that I've ever taught you were type 1. These are ionic compounds involving a metal ion, a cation, a positive ion that when it wakes up, it says, hey, I am positive 2. And when it goes to sleep, it says, I'm still positive 2. And when it wakes up the next morning, it says, still positive 2. Actually, Mr. Marino, I'm going to be positive 2 for the rest of my life. Those are the type 1 ionic compounds. And we put little tattoos on the periodic table for those things. Okay? But you notice that there was a great big chunk of cations that we did not put down their charges. They are the wishy-washies. So, today, type 2 formulas. All right, so what about all the other elements, mainly the metals? What are their charges? Well, some of these metals, these cations, can have more than one possible charge. Why? I call them wishy-washy. They get up and they go, I don't feel it today. I'm feeling +3 today. Which totally just blows my mind. How do you know what their charge is going to be, therefore? Well, are you familiar with the Super Bowls? The Super Bowls, like Super Bowl 1 had what little symbol after Super Bowl? An I. Because in Roman numerals, an I is 1. Super Bowl 2 had what symbol? 2 I's. Super Bowl 3 had what symbol? 3 I's. Super Bowl 4 had what symbol? An I and a V. Very good. So those of you who are into Super Bowls, you will be able to do this. If you're not into football, you're probably going to fail. I am kidding. All right, so iron, for example, has 2 charges. 2 charges. Iron, I is +2. Iron, I is +3. I've
uppy number or downy number?
Good question. We're talking about their uppy numbers. Their charges. Their numbers, their actual number of them, are going to be the downy number. Okay, so we need these uppy numbers in order to get the downy numbers, which is the final answer. All right. We good?
No.
We're not good. Tell me when we're good. We're good now?
No.
Yes, it is.
Guys, which one is it? Yes or no?
All right. So this is, we added these tattoos. We added these tattoos to your periodic table. Now we need to add some more. How can the periodic table tell us? Well, let's write some tattoos. Tattoo! Which I don't particularly like tattoos. I don't think they're attractive at all. But you have to admit, the word tattoo is a lot of fun. Tattoo! Oops. Hold on, I'm trying to magnify it. There we go. Tattoo! Tattoo them! All that needs to be written down if it's not already written down. If it's already written down, then you're fine. Mainly the ones that have 2 charges are the ones you need to write down. I think we should have gotten all the others. For mercury, which is Hg, you should have a little asterisk. Some people pronounce it asterisks. I don't know why. Asterisk. And then over here, there should be a little space at the bottom right corner of your periodic table. That's where I want you to write what the asterisk means. And in order to understand the asterisk, we need to talk about one of my favorite musicals of all time, The Greatest Showman. I am now waiting for my students to write down these charges.
It's okay, it's okay. So you want me to put a star by
Yeah, but then at the right corner there should be like an empty space. That's where you write down what Mercury, what that star on Mercury means. I will explain it. Yes.
In between ion and AG, yours says EV. This one says CD.
what?
That is an E.
It does kind of look like an E
Never mind, never mind.
with a
It
line.
looks like an E. I got it. Don't make fun of me.
You know his hand be jiggling.
Because of my old age, right?
Yeah.
My hands shake. Thank you, TA. Love you too, man.
It's got 1 foot in the ground.
Okay, as you're finishing this up, once again, we need to talk about our resident identical twins, Jack and Carter. Now, it's very, very rare, extremely rare, but there is a possibility that what could have happened with Jack and Carter is after they split, they actually could have come back together and merge back together in a particular spot. These are called conjoined twins. Now, in the musical Greatest Showman, who saw The Greatest Showman? I love it. I love it. You know that P.T. Barnum went around finding human oddities, right? And one of the oddities he found were Siamese twins. So these were conjoined twins. These were two individuals, two men, who they were identical twins, but they were joined in the abdomen, and they actually shared, I believe they shared some of the digestive organs. All right, so they could not split. No one could cut them in half. At that time, we didn't have the technology for that. So they lived their entire lives conjoined. They were joined at the hip. Have you ever heard the expression, wow, those two must be joined at the hip? Well, that's referring to conjoined twins. Now, an interesting, I love these kinds of stories because I love being an American. Okay, Ben Carson was the Secretary of Health under the Trump administration. Ben Carson at one time was considered the greatest brain surgeon of all time. Okay, and Ben Carson was the first surgeon to successfully separate conjoined twins at the head. So they were sharing part of the brain. So he had to very meticulously cut through their brains in order to separate them. Now, what makes Ben Carson's story so amazing, the fact that this guy was the chief of surgery for Johns Hopkins, one of the greatest hospitals in the world. What makes his story so interesting, besides the fact that he separated conjoined twins at the head, was the fact that Ben Carson came from a very, very poor family that lived in a high-rise tenement in Chicago. Mom, that's it. That's all they were. And they were African Americans living in Chicago. Just him, his brother, and his mom. His mom had to work 2 jobs in order for her boys not to have to work, and for them to be able to focus on education. She was very, very tough on them. And I know this because I read the autobiography, Ben Carson's autobiography. Very tough on them. And so she would make them let her review their reports before they got to turn them in. So they had to bring to her the report, and she would review it. And then one day, Ben, I think, was 14 or 15, and he handed his mom the report, and he noticed that the report she was reading was upside down. He goes, "Mom, can you read?" She goes, "No." She was working 2 jobs, not able to read, just so that her sons could have a chance. And so, on top of everything that he was doing for school, he was a straight A student in his Chicago school. He, in the evenings, would teach his mom how to read and write. So that was the kind of man. He went on to get his medical license, and he went on to be one of the greatest surgeons. Only in America can you start out that poor, folks, and become one of the greatest surgeons of your time. So I love it. I love it. So why the heck are you talking about this? Because conjoined twins. That's what I've been talking about. All right. What?
You said it was black, right?
Yeah, Ben Carson is African American. Okay, so Mercury 2 makes total sense. Hg plus 2. No, don't write anything down. You don't have to write anything down. I am answering Lindsay's question as to what does that asterisk mean. Okay, Mercury 1 is our problem child. See, Mercury 1 you would think is this, right? Well, Mercury 1 does not exist by itself. Okay? Mercury 1 exists only with his conjoined twin. You can't get Mercury 1 without the other Mercury 1. So that is why Mercury 1 actually has a charge of plus 2, because what they do is they add these charges together and they add the numbers together. So Mercury 1 is really, really weird. It is Hg2 plus 2. Lindsay, does that make sense now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go. Let's practice these things.
Turn me up. Oh, shoot. Wait.
All right, so who would like to help me? Somebody in this quad. Volunteer. Let's do this. Thank you, Lindsay. Iron 2, give me the symbol and the charge.
Fe, positive 3.
So this Roman numeral II is plus 3?
2.
Okay. All right, and chloride, probably chlorine. What is it? Okay, sounds like we've got some confusion. Iron can be either 2 or 3. Look at it under at your periodic table, 2 and 3. How do you know that it's 2? Well, did you notice a Roman numeral there?
Yes.
Okay, that's a Roman numeral 2, which means plus 2. And your final answer after you crisscross?
FeCl2.
Very nice. Good job. Any questions?
Wait. Wait, it's down to me.
Criss cross.
Okay. Yeah. You know that.
All right.
Give it a push.
You do this one. Iron 3. III. Oxide. Symbol. Charge.
Hold on. Let me get my periodic.
I know. It's useful, isn't it?
So we're gonna do Fe.
Okay, we are going to do Fe. Charge.
And the charge will be, hold on. That'll be plus 3.
And how do you know that?
Because it says it.
No, it says plus 2 or plus 3. How do you know it's plus 3?
Because it's on the right side.
Terrence.
Oh yeah, the Roman numeral. I knew that. I just didn't know how to say it properly.
All right. Oxide. It's probably oxygen.
And then, yeah, oxide is oxygen, so we're gonna put O.
And charge?
And then charge would be -2.
Are the charges equal?
No.
Okay, then you have to crisscross. So what's your final answer?
And then we're gonna do
The negatives and positives, they're there just to make sure you put them in the right spot.
Oh, so
Once they've done their job, you don't need negative. It doesn't even make any sense. How can you have two negative irons? What the heck does that mean?
that's true. So maybe,
Oh,
yeah, and then we're gonna put 3.
very nice. Good job, T-Man. All right, that quad back there. Tin 2 chloride. I need a volunteer. Carter, go. SN, charge. Charge. Are the charges equal? Crisscross. What's the answer? Nice. Nice. Sarah's quad. Sarah's squad.
What happened to where you used to add the protons and electrons and that stuff?
That's something else. That helped us get to this point. All right, Sarah's quad. Anybody, any volunteers there before I volunteer you? Any volunteers before I volunteer you? Avery, thank you.
CU plus 2 and then S minus 2.
Are the charges equal?
Yes, so it's just CU less.
You cuss?
Yeah, okay.
You cuss? Okay.
What's up, cuz?
All right, this quad. Volunteer. Jerry's volunteering. Thank you, Jerry's. Nickel, IV, intravenous.
Plus 4. I mean, my bad. Ni plus 4.
Nitride. Probably nitrogen.
And minus 2.
Are the charges equal?
Yeah.
Are the charges equal?
Not sure.
Crisscross. What's your final answer?
Oh. Ni 3 and 4.
What does IV stand for? It's 5, right?
IV is 4. V is 5. Tell you the truth, you'll probably never see 5. If you can just memorize IV, then you're in good shape. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, back to you all. Who's next? Kelsey or Quenga? Who wants to volunteer? Kelsey, go. Lead 2.
Oh, okay, so it's going to be PV plus 2, and then CL minus 1,
Crisscross.
and it's going to be PVCl2.
Aluminum oxide, Terrence quad. Who wants to do it? Amy? Good. Go.
AL plus 3.
So notice there's no Roman numeral on this one. So this is one like what you did yesterday. It's a type 1. Al plus 3,
O minus 2.
O minus 2.
AL 2, O 3.
This brings back good memories, doesn't it, Ritter?
It does.
Hold on.
What? You got it? Last question. Back there. Carlos, go.
PB plus 4, F minus 1.
Final answer.
PBF 4.
TA is the man, he's the man, he's the man. He's 3 men. He's plus 3 man. All right. Worksheet 4.5. Get her done. Then go to the quizzes and then finish your dice game from yesterday. If you need to get up and look for other dice, that's perfectly fine.